Mystic ancient secrets can all be answered when you ask the mystic access guru. That is I, the great exalted one. I have come across 3 astral projections through the god plane in the hero metamorphosis to give you the knowledge you deserve.
All right. Haven't set up yet. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she changes from day to day. I want to tell her that I love her a lot, but I gotta get a belly full of wine. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but someday I'm gonna make her mine. Oh yeah, someday I'm gonna make her mine. All right. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Ender. Thanks for stopping in. We're gonna make the chat bigger because this isn't live. And we're going to watch Brian's Logic. Talk about the globe map. It's pretty hilarious. Let me, we've got a print that just finished up. About the print, it's kind of cool. There's a channel named Barbados Rex. I think I've shown his channel before. Where is he? Yeah. He reviews airbrushes and air compressors and stuff like that, paints. He has his own paint line. I mean, he's a pretty big deal. And this is his latest. Let me fast forward to it. Yeah. He bought this little reed compressor. Didn't have a tank. And this one doesn't do it, I don't think. It may. I'm not sure. I haven't seen all of the last video. But it's reed compressors are notoriously sturdy. They don't give a constant pressure because it's like they have a reed that pushes every time it moves. It pushes paint or it pushes air. So you're going to get a pulsing. What this thing does is pretty cool. Is it gives you a attachment to put on a soda bottle, right? It takes the output from the compressor, runs it into the soda bottle, and then your airbrush connects to this hose. So it basically provides you a pressure tank. I've got a, I don't know what brand it is, but it's a little compressor about this big, kind of small. It's specifically for airbrushes, and it has a tank built in. So it pressurizes the tank, and that's what the airbrush feeds on. And since the bottle is elastic, springy, it wants to give pressure, and it works.
Because of that, it lets you run it longer. It doesn't heat up. There's no pulsing involved because it's feeding off the air, off the tank, just like a regular one. And a lot of you asked, what about a bigger bottle? Is it strong enough to fill up?
I mean, and the thing even works. So here, this is where he gets to it.
And if anybody can, drop me a comment. See, I could 3D print that. And maybe.
Yeah. So I could 3D print that. So I sent him an email. What I came up with is, let's see if we can give me bigger. Yeah, what I came up with is this. It's the exact same thing. This is dirty because I was using paint to mark where the bottle set inside of it, so I could tell if it's hitting the surfaces that I want. In that ring, in that indentation around here, that's going to have a O-ring, so it'll seal the bottle real well. And it has threads. What I just did is I have to get this thread down because a 3D printed thread is different than like a metallic thread. Metallic thread's a lot more precise, so I'm having to modify this thread so it will go on easy. Keep it breezy so it'll go down easy. So that works. It doesn't cross thread. I had to add See, I had this thread here, if you'll notice. See? See how the thread goes all the way up to like the chamfer? What was happening is it was cross-threading. So instead, I came up with this, a collar. See the difference? One, the thread goes up all the way. The other one, the thread only goes up this far. So when you do that, it lets the thing slide on. That collar is the same diameter as the inside of the threads. So it just slips on. It gives it a place to start and line itself up with. So then it screws on nice and easy. And should seal. And it does. No hissing. So it seals on the hose. So, mission accomplished. Successful. And he wants someone to print them. I'll eventually print the finished models in resin on the resin printer. So I even put his name on it. Rex. Probably call it the Rex cap. I don't know. But yeah, it works. So I've determined that it will seal the bottle, and it seals on the hose, and it's fucking awesome. I could even print these in filament, but it'll be weak, right? Because the layer lines go this way, and it has an inherent weakness in the fact that if you put stress on it, it'll snap these off. You put too much stress. But a resin print is more homogeneous. There's no layer lines that can snap. Very strong. It's ABS type plastic. Hey, Tusk. Hey, George. So, should work. I think I'll be happy with that. I had to make sure that they were far enough apart to fit two hoses on, because the hose is wider than the thing. So I had to make sure I didn't put them too close together so they both fit. If I had a die that would cut the thread, I'd chase the threads and make sure they fit. But you can't fit a die on both of these because the die is like this wide, and that won't work. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. So I've already emailed him, and he said great. And I sent him an image of what it looks like, and he's like, fantastic. So I will print one up in filament, send it to him, see if he likes it, and then we'll print them in resin and go with that. It might even be cheaper once he has the file to just have a company make them, for like $2 a piece, sell them for $5 a piece. Might even be, if he gets enough orders for them, if he has enough people interested. So that would be my route to take. Hey, Moxie. So anyway, on with Brian.
Well, how are you doing? Okay, this is going to
Pretty good.
be a short presentation, and it's called Where is the Globe Map? You'll know, you'll recognize at the end why it's called that. This is going to be very explosive to the globe.
Like diarrhea?
Very much so. It's a topic I've addressed in the past, but I didn't
Because this is basically explosive diarrhea of the mouth, what Brian has.
address it I did address it in this way, but I didn't focus enough on this point.
And then after this, we're going to go over one from Dr. Blitz this morning. It was pretty funny.
And I realized the point I hadn't focused upon. which was the most destructive point within the topic. Okay, there are 6 points I'm going to cover in this. Number 1 is what is claimed spherical trigonometry. Number 2,
I mean, claimed spherical. No, it's spherical trigonometry. No one's claiming that there's a such thing. It is a thing, Brian. It's a branch of mathematics, a branch of geometry.
is what is spherical excess. Number 3 is how is spherical excess removed.
It's not.
Number 4 is why is spherical excess removed.
It's not.
Number 5, how does spherical excess destroy the globe Earth
It doesn't. It proves the Earth is a sphere by measuring it as a sphere.
and heliocentric paradigms while outright proving a flat Earth. Number 6 is blowing up a balloon. I'll explain the
It doesn't. It doesn't destroy the globe, Brian. That's how you measure a curved surface.
last one at the end. What is claimed spherical trigonometry? Okay, I've addressed this in the past. I showed how when I made a right angle triangle in Google Earth, it didn't matter if I did it over
In Google Earth, you mean a spherical map?
a small distance or a big distance, like over a couple of miles or over the whole of Africa, using the whole of Africa as best I could to make the biggest right angle triangle possible. What would happen is when I had compared my right angle triangles in Google Earth to the right angle triangle calculators, the opposites were always equal in length, the adjacents were always equal in length, but the hypotenuse were not equal in length. Now, that not only is mathematically impossible for that to be the case, because you can't have the adjacent and the opposite being the same length and the hypotenuse being less. It has to be a certain length based on trigonometry. So
I have no idea what he's talking about here. I haven't seen his video where he used a right angle triangle. I haven't seen that, so I can't really comment on this.
the reason Google Earth were doing this, or do this, is because they're trying to
He said doo-doo.
deal with what's known as spherical excess.
Yeah?
Even within the realms of what they claim to be spherical trigonometry, you can't shorten what would be the hypotenuse. Once you place that right angle triangle around
But there's no... What are you talking about, Brian? What are you talking about?
any triangle onto the surface of a globe, you can't, or a sphere of any kind, you can't change the length of those lines. As in, they must stay the same as they are. They bow out the way, they get warped, but the length of them must stay the same, right? Now, I also showed that surveying companies sometimes will try and claim that there's, and I showed this, less than 180 degrees in an actual triangle. And the reason they're doing that is they're trying to mathematically fit in spherical excess. Once again, incorrectly, right? But
No, that's how you measure a sphere, Brian, is with spherical excess. It's a technique.
Google Earth and surveying companies, etc.,
I believe it's even a mathematical law. So,
they do this and they do it incorrectly because they can't fit it in to reality. I'll go through it now.
no, that's how you measure reality, Brian, with spherical excess.
I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'm going to start with number 1. What is claimed spherical trigonometry? Right? I'll just show a visual.
Again,
So
it's not
here is
claimed.
a claimed, what they would claim to be a spherical triangle. Now, there's no such thing as a spherical triangle, right? It is not.
Oh, well, you're showing one right here, Brian. So you're showing a spherical triangle while saying there's no such thing as a spherical triangle. You're fucking dumb, Brian.
Triangulometry.
You're dishonest as fucking shit, Brian.
It is spherical circleometry.
No, it's spherical trigonometry, Brian. You can't just rename shit because you don't like it. That's not how life works, asshole.
As you can see here on this diagram, there is red dotted lines here matching up to where the black lines are, the black arc lengths are. What that is you have three circles that are all of equal radii and
Yes, they're all basically equatorial circles.
equal radius to the sphere that they are on the outside of. Where they intersect with each other, right, creates this.
Are the points of the spherical triangle, Brian. See, there's a point here, there's a vertex here, there's a vertex here, and a vertex here. You have a straight line here, you have a straight line here, and a straight line here. By straight, I mean does not veer from to the left or right from its path. It's staying level, meaning it's straight on a spherical Earth.
Here, which looks like I know it looks like a triangle, but it's not a triangle because
Okay. Definition of a spherical triangle. A spherical triangle is a geometric figure on a sphere's surface formed by three intersecting arcs of great circles, the shortest path between 2 points on a sphere connecting three vertices. So you're just fucking wrong, Brian. You're a lying sack of shit, Brian. Why are you such a lying sack of shit, asshole?
Because it has curved lines and more than 180 degrees. So
right, that's why it's not a triangle, Brian. That's why it's not a Euclidean triangle. See, you have Euclidean trigonometry and you have spherical trigonometry. They're two different things, Brian.
How did it go about?
Oh, by the way, I wanted to show this. This is pretty funny. Tony Whitcomb says, a silent review because you have nothing to say. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if I've been silent. Put a 2 in the chat if Tony Whitcomb is a dumb son of a bitch.
How did they go about dealing with this issue? Right? How did they create these? Right? So
with surveying, Brian.
This is I'm going to link this in the description. This is the
sides of the spherical triangle are arcs of great circles. It's describing it right here, Brian. Your citation that you're posting here is proving you the fuck wrong. Hey, 1? What? Fucking ban you.
Spherical Trigonometry, Rob Johnson, West Hills Institute of Mathematics. I'm not going to go through every part of this, just going to go through, and I'm not going through all the maths here, because some of the maths I'd have to make sure I'm doing correct, but you won't need all the maths, you'll just need the understanding. The sides of a spherical triangle are arcs of great circles, as I just showed a minute ago. A great circle is the intersection of a sphere with a central plane, a plane through the center of that sphere. The angles of a spherical triangle are measured in the plane tangent to the sphere at the intersection of the sides forming the angle. To avoid conflict with the antipodal triangle, the triangle formed by the same great circles on the opposite side of the sphere, the sides of a spherical triangle will be restricted between 0.
Hey, Bob Nodal Gyroscope, how you doing?
And pi radians. The angles will also be restricted between 0 and pi radians so that they remain interior. To derive the basic formulas pertaining to a spherical triangle, we use plane trigonometry on planes related to the spherical triangle.
There you go. You use planar trigonometry on a plane, use spherical trigonometry on a sphere.
For example, planes tangent to the sphere are one of the vertices of the triangle and central planes containing one side of the triangle. Unless specified otherwise, when projecting onto a plane tangent to the sphere, the projection will be from the center of the sphere, since each side of a spherical triangle is contained in a central plane. plane. The projection of each side onto a tangent plane is a line. We will also assume the radius of the sphere is 1, thus the length of an arc of a great circle is its angle. Okay, that's just for explanation purposes
That's it for explanation purposes here. He has no idea what he just read.
here that he's given it a length of 1. Okay, what he's trying
Right. It has a diameter of 1. That's the unit.
to point out here is, and I just show, right, I just get a line, is all of spherical triangles are all come from planar trigonometry. That's how they're created, right? They're not an actual triangle. They're the intersection of 3 circles. So when I call them circleometry, when I call it spherical circleometry as opposed to spherical trigonometry, it's far more correct because you're using, even though it's comical.
No, it's not far more correct, you dumb fuck. It's wrong. You can't just rename shit, Brian. It's not how life works.
The name up to a point, it's correct. It is circleometry. That's what it is. Because the creation of, I just get another line here, of what they call a spherical triangle all starts and ends with actual trigonometry, right? So what that is that's a plane, right? Let's say the equatorial plane of this sphere. And where the point on the sphere that this line meets, this makes a right angle to the plane, to the equatorial plane. So this would be this arc length here, and you will have 2 more of those, or maybe just 1 more of those, it depends on what you're doing, to give you.
Why are you adding your own horse shit to this, Brian? Why are you adding to this? This isn't part of it.
Another 2 arc lengths. But they're all arc lengths of a circle of equal radius to the sphere. Okay? So I'm just going to remove them so I don't keep them there. Just to show
He is a dumb, dishonest son of a bitch, isn't he?
that this is correct, I'm just going to show. Here you have this diagram showing that very thing. As you can see, 2 different, you have a line out from the center here and a line up, meeting here and the same here, and those points won't always be at the same point on the arcs. So this arc here is longer than this one here, and whatever. So you have these 3 arcs here. That's what you actually have. You have 1 circle here, which will be a circle, what they call a great circle, right? Which is just a circle with the equal radius of the sphere, and you have another one here, right? So they're formed from the center of the sphere. The interior of the sphere is where these points come from. And then they're just 3 circles. Circles are created, what they call great circles, are created intersecting those points and intersecting each other. And that creates what they claim to be a spherical triangle. But it's not a triangle, as I said.
Yeah, it is, Brian. It's in the fucking name.
It's incorrect, improperly labeled.
I mean, how sad do you have to be brainwashed by Nathan Oakley and Quantum Eraser? I mean, seriously, Brian. Those are the 2 dumbest people on the planet, and they brainwashed you. How dumb do you have to be?
Now, oh, sorry, I meant to get this one. Now, as you can see here, they're also using a tangent here. So that's another way of doing it, where they're using a tangent with the center. So that's another right triangle, and they're gaining the points via that. That's how this man is doing it. But you can do it. The point is that you're always using the center, and you're using right triangles and actual trigonometry to gain these points. So you're using trigonometry, but the result is not trigonometry. It's
spherical trigonometry, Brian. It's fucking spherical trigonometry.
The intersection point of 3 circles. So if I just come down a bit, and now you can see what they're doing here, right? Right, these are two tangents, right, and another thing being connected by a line between them, which allows for the creation of this inside, right, as you can see. And I just show here, right, that's what it is, two tangents, and that's how they measure the angles, because they can't measure angles with curved lines. They have to use...
Yeah, you can, Brian. I've proven that you can. You want me to prove it again? Check this out, bitch. This is hilarious. This is great. So we're going to draw a circle. And let's draw another circle. And then just for the hell of it, let's draw a line. Actually, let's make sure the line is there. We'll put an intersecting point here. We'll put a point here, and we'll put a point there. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll put an intersecting point. See, notice it turns gray. Put a point there, and we'll put a point there. Now let's measure an angle, Brian. We'll measure the angle from here to here. That is 85.9. And we'll measure this angle right here, Brian. We can even move these points closer so we get a more accurate reading. And we're going to measure the angle from here to here. 90 degrees, Brian. See that? See? 90 degrees. Because that's a perpendicular line to the curvature, to the curve of that circle. So you're lying when you say you can't measure an angle between a curve and a line. I just proved that you can measure an angle between both two curves and a line and a curve, Brian. You're a liar.
Straight lines to measure angles. You can't have an angle between two curved lines. So when they call this one here 88 degrees, it's 88 degrees based off of the tangents and the angle between them, not the angle between the curved lines. They just...
Yes, it's an angle between the curved lines, Brian, because they intersect at an 88-degree angle, you dipshit.
They have to shadow them with tangents to get the angle. So like that alone should tell you that there is no such thing as a spherical triangle.
That alone should tell you how fucking stupid you are, Brian. You're proving how fucking ignorant you are. You know that, right?
It's incorrectly labeled. But look, it is what it is. They label it incorrectly, but it's...
Oh, so every mathematician, every trigonometrist, I guess, every physicist, because physicists use this too. Everybody gets it wrong except for you, right, Brian? You know the real truth. You who dropped out of fucking high school, who's been indoctrinated by two of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. You know the truth, and everyone else is lying. Get the fuck out of here, asshole. Hey, George.
It's not a triangle, because when they link up B and C here, so A, B, and C are linked up, you'll have three arc lengths that are intersecting each other.
See, Brian, when you have to lie about reality, you lose. And you're a fucking loser.
That's not a triangle. And there'll be more than 180 degrees. So that's not a triangle. So just to come down a bit, I'm just going to show you, right, some of the, let me see. Sorry.
So all this is proving you wrong, Brian. All of this is proving you wrong. Proving that you're a lying piece of shit, Brian.
Sorry, not that one. Let's come down a bit more. Which one was that going from?
What a sad,
No, not that
pathetic,
one.
what a sad, pathetic fuck Brian is. Seriously.
Sorry, I'm after losing myself on this page. This one. Okay, so you can see here the way you have this circle here, right, which would be the equatorial plane. If that was a globe, it'd be
Right? That would be the equatorial plane. And this too would be an equatorial plane. And so would this. This would be an equatorial plane too, Brian.
the equatorial plane of a globe. And you have two crossing great circles here. So the equatorial plane of a globe will have a radius of close on 3959 miles of the globe Earth, and you'll have these two circles here. So that's like three what they call great circles intersecting each other. That's what you end up having.
Right. You get a spherical triangle, Brian.
That's what you get. So it's not. It's not, as I said, it's not a triangle, but that's what is created from the use of triangles, right? And they call it
Let's see. Area of a spherical triangle. Spherical triangle. So you're a liar.
improperly call it spherical trigonometry.
Oh, they improperly call it that. Okay.
Now,
You mean all the people that understand it? They call it that. All the people that use it in practice call it that, but you don't, because you're smart. Because you're smarter than all of them. What a dumb.
just to come back here, what is spherical excess? And that's our next protocol. We know now what everyone's fully aware of what spherical claimed trigonometry is, right? Circleometry. So now we need to go on to what is spherical excess, right? So spherical excess is the amount of area and angle that exists greater than a triangle, right? This is the formula for
Hey,
it.
Brian.
E equals
Hey, Brian. Brian, why do you keep saying right? Why do you keep saying that word with a question mark at the end of it? Right? Why do you keep saying that, Brian? Aren't you telling us? Aren't you instructing us? It sounds like you're asking us because you're not sure of what the fuck you're talking about. That's what it sounds like.
A plus B plus C minus 180. What they're talking about there is, if I just show you, I'll just get it here, is here you have what would be, if it was shadowed by tangents, 390-degree angles, right?
No, those are 390-degree angles, Brian. If you stand at the equator and you look due north, you will head, and you don't stop, you don't turn, you go straight forward, you will wind up at the North Pole. If you stand at the North Pole and turn 90 degrees to your right and you walk straight ahead, you will land right here on the equator. Then if you stand here and you turn 90 degrees to the right, you will look straight down the equator, and if you go forward, you will wind up back where you fucking were, Brian. That's called a fucking triangle. That's called 390 90 degrees in a triangle.
That means you have 270 degrees, right, within here. So
Yeah.
that means there is a greater degrees and greater area here. So spherical excess is the removal of this
See-
greater amount.
See, if Brian didn't know that spherical trigonometry destroys the flat Earth, he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have made this video. See, this is damage control. This is damage control for the flat Earth cult. That's all it is. If he didn't know that this destroys the flat Earth, he never would have made this video.
right? So A equals the excess, A plus B plus C equals the angles. So those three 90-degree angles I just showed you,
Yeah.
right? They
That destroy the flat Earth, and you know it.
would be, you'd add them up, which I'll show in a while, and right, minus 180 is the amount of degrees in an actual triangle. So the excess is the adding up of the three angles that make up the spherical triangle, and then you minus 180 degrees from that, and whatever is left is the excess, right? Basically. So if I just go here, let's just say you had one of these was 68, the other one was, let's just say, 72, and the other one was, I don't know, 81, right? Now that's going to be greater than 180 degrees. So when you minus that 180, we add them up and that minus 180 degrees from it, you end up with your excess. The excess
Right. The amount of excess, and with that amount of excess, you can calculate the curvature of the Earth.
is the amount of degrees
That's why you don't like it, Brian, because it proves the globe and destroys flat Earth.
an area that exists within the confines of these three outlinks, right? So basically, you must turn these back into an actual triangle. That's what it is, right?
No, you don't. You don't turn it back into an actual triangle, Brian. You don't. You measure the excess, and that's what you make your calculation from.
So that is
You're a fucking liar, Brian.
the formula for spherical excess. So now we go on to why is spherical excess removed, right?
It's not, Brian. You're a liar.
Sorry, how was spherical excess removed? We just showed, right, what they do, how the formula works. Why is spherical excess removed? They remove it because they want to end up back at a triangle again.
No, you don't. Well, you don't do it to end up back at a triangle, Brian. You do it to find out how much curvature you have in each leg of that triangle.
Right? Why do they want to do that? This is the thing, right? They have to do it,
This is the thing.
right? Now, mathematically, right, it's just, if you're just talking about, like, just purely mathematically, you can remove the spherical excess and ends up with from your claimed spherical triangle and end up with just an actual triangle, right? Purely mathematically. But when it comes to the globe, Earth, and all the claims concerning that, right, why is spherical excess removed? And this is the thing, right? This works in with number 5, as how does spherical excess destroy the globe Earth and heliocentric paradigms while outright proving a flat Earth? I've gone through this in the past in other videos, and I've said this publicly on different shows and Discord servers in different places many times.
I mean, this isn't the only place you go to embarrass yourself, Brian? This and QE show is it the only place you go? Holy crap, your kink is fucking heavy, man.
That surveyors measure, right, between, let's say, 3 mountains or whatever, or a chain of mountains, they measure using actual triangles, right?
No, they don't, Brian. They measure angles. They don't use triangles. They use angles of measurement, azimuth angles. You stand on one mountain and you measure. You see where that mountain is, right? And then you turn and you measure the amount of degrees that you turn to line up the other mountain, and that's your azimuth. That's the degree of your corner of that triangle. And then you do that on the second mountain, and you do that on the third mountain. There's no triangles involved, dipshit.
And then, right, they add in the globe
Hey, Lindsay.
after the measurements.
No, they don't add in the globe after the measurements, Brian.
And when they want to use the measurements, they remove the spherical excess to use the measurements.
No, they don't, Brian. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
right? We're getting close to the crescendo here. I've detailed this in the past. My mother's partner is a retired geodetic surveyor. I went through this at length with him about what he does, about what he used to do, and and everything he did as far as detailing anything.
Hey, Lindsay, did I say hello? I don't know. I can't remember.
For mapping or anything else or any measurements were all done using actual trigonometry on 180 degrees.
No, it wasn't. If he was a geodetic surveyor and he told you that, he's lying to you, Brian. He's lying to you, or you're just making up what he said. Because no, they don't use regular trigonometry.
Now, afterwards, they can add in globe, right, mathematically, excuse me, but afterwards they can add that in, but to then use the measurements, they must remove the globe to use them,
No, they don't, Brian. No, they don't.
right, for the creation of maps or to refer to something, a distance, an area, whatever. They need to remove it. And this is where the globe dies. And I'm going to show you how. So, I'm just going to show you something. A spherical circulometry triangle with internal angles of 90 plus 90 plus 90, right, which is, let's say, this one here, which is the maximum that a spherical triangle can have, right? And a radius close to 3,959 miles with arc lengths of 6,214.32 miles will have a total internal
This is fucking hysterical. This is hilarious.
sum area of over 24 million square miles. If spherical excess is removed to revert back to an actual triangle, then the internal angles must become 60 plus 60 plus 60, as our excess is 90 degrees. Because our 90 plus 90 plus 90 equals 270, minus 180 equals 90, right? And the arc lengths become straight lines of 6,214.32 miles in length, giving the triangle a total internal sum area of over 16 million square miles, right? Which leaves us with a differential in area between the two of over 7,800,000 square miles.
Oh my God, that's a huge number, Brian. What's your fucking point? Area has nothing to do with spherical trigonometry, Brian.
What this means is, sorry, if you can hear from my voice, I'm trying to get over a chest infection. What this means is to bring it
Hey, Citizen 9.
back to reality, you've got to remove the spherical excess, right?
No, you don't remove anything to get back to reality, Brian. You need to get back to reality.
And that means within this example, you're removing almost from your mathematically removing, not in real world, but mathematically, you're removing almost 8 million square miles, right?
No, nobody's removing anything, Brian. This number here has fucking absolutely nothing to do with reality, because you don't turn that spherical triangle into a planar triangle removing area. You don't, Brian. Jesus, you're fucking stupid. You're about as thick as pig shit.
Now, how we can even have square miles, right, on a sphere is another problem. So they've
What? You can't have square miles on a sphere? Why? Why, Brian? Why can't you have square miles on a sphere? You can't have an area on the surface of a sphere? Can a sphere have a surface area? Yeah. Yeah, a sphere absolutely has a surface area, which is the total area of its curved outer shell, calculated using the formula 4 times pi r squared, where r is the radius representing the space needed to cover it. It's like wrapping paper. So, yeah, it can have a surface area. Did you think that something had to be square to have like square inches or square miles or square feet? Is that what you thought, Brian? You thought that the square means it has to be a fucking square? Is that what you thought? That's pretty fucking dumb, Brian.
You've got to flatten out the whole thing and then remove.
Yes, pig shit is useful. Not shit, fuel.
They've got to even flatten it out to bring it back to being flat.
He wouldn't even make good fuel.
Right? Because there's no such thing as square miles. There can be no such thing as a square mile on a sphere. Right?
What is a square mile? Square mile is an imperial U.S. unit of measurement for area. 1 square mile is equal to the area of a square, with each side measuring a length of 1 mile. Is equal to the area of a square, with each side measuring. See, you could also have the square. You could also have the area of a circle. That would be the equivalent to something that is so many units high by it's equivalent to a square of the same area, Brian. You're a dumb motherfucker. I mean, you don't even know what area means. And you think you're going to fucking educate people who do? What a dumb son of a bitch.
On a globe Earth, right?
Hey, Westside.
The reason you can't, or any square can never be a square on the surface of any sphere, because it's going to have greater than.
You're let's ask. Let's go into AI mode. What would be the area in square miles of a triangle that is 5 miles by 5 miles by 5 miles? There we go. The area of a triangle with 3 sides of 5 miles by 5 miles is approximately 10.83 square miles. So you don't even know what fucking area means. You don't even know what square miles means, Brian. That's how fucking stupid you are.
270 degrees internally, right? Because it's, or sorry, not 270, but it'll have 490s if it's a square, and it'll have more than 490s if that square is put onto it'll have 360 inside, because it'll have more than 360, sorry, inside internally, because just like the triangle, the lines will be bowed out the way, right? It always increases the area and increases the internal angles. So you couldn't even have square miles. So it's ridiculous to even.
So how does it say that there's 24 million square miles, Brian? Why does it say that if you can't have it on a sphere? Why, Brian? You wrote this. You fucking wrote this, Brian. These are your words. You made this shit up. You wrote this. And now you're saying just ignore what I wrote? Jesus fucking Christ, you're dumb. You're dishonest as fuck, Brian. You really are.
Even talk about there being.
But I mean, you had good teachers.
24 million, over 24 million square miles, right, within this claimed spherical triangle. It's ridiculous, right? But that's mathematically how it must be done.
No, it's not, because no, it's not how it mathematically has to be done, Brian. You're making this up. You're lying your ass off.
So the truth is that there isn't 7,800,000 over 7,800,000 square miles removed, right? Is that they were never there. The truth is that there was always within that triangle with those three side lengths, there was always only just over 16 million square miles, right? So to bring it from globe to reality, you must remove the excess degrees and the excess area. Now that is bad enough as it is, right?
But that's not what they do, so it's not bad at all, Brian. See, you subtract the planar triangle from the spherical triangle and you get the excess. You aren't removing the excess. You're removing the planar triangle from it and getting the excess. So you're a lying fuck, Brian. You don't even know how math works. If I add 2 plus 2, if I subtract 2 from 2, am I removing? I don't even know how to fucking address that. I mean, what the fuck, man? I mean, seriously. If I want to take 5 from 10, am I removing 10? No, I'm removing 5 from 10. The 10 is the spherical, or Jesus fuck. I don't even know. God, it's just so fucking stupid. I can't make my mind be that simple to fucking explain this shit to him. God damn it, Brian.
But there's actually more than that to this, and because I've pointed out that in the past, but
and you've been wrong every time, Brian. You know, I can point out that there's a big purple gorilla flying in the air, but there isn't. I can point it out. Oh, it's there. Nobody else sees it. There's no such thing as flying purple gorillas, so there's no way I could have fucking seen it, but I pointed it out.
there's a second part that's actually worse for them that involves this. What it means, you see, is this. It means that if, right, they have to remove spherical excess to bring.
See, you've created a straw man, Brian, and now you're arguing against the straw man. That's called being intellectually dishonest, Brian. That's called being a numpty dipshit.
Back to reality, actual real world measurements and real world area. It means that
Railroad area? Railroad? What's railroad mean?
at no point, right, was there ever
See, you keep asking right. Why are you asking us, Brian?
anyone, and can there be ever anyone, actually measuring a globe Earth? And the reason being is we have such a thing as maps.
Right, maps are flattened out globes, Brian. That's what a map is.
You can't have a map that has had an area removed from it.
Say what? So in the adverse, can you not have a map with area added to it? Because that's what the flat Earth map is, man. They have to add a whole shit ton of ocean and land to the flat Earth map south of the equator. So is it the same way? Is the adverse the same?
So we can measure the Earth as a flat plane, right? A plane with topography above and below.
No, you can't, Brian. You can locally. because locally it's the curve is so minor that you don't worry about it. And it's funny how they say, well, planar surveyors measure it as flat. No, planar surveyors don't measure anything as flat. They measure the topography, and the construction companies in and make it flat.
Right, that plane, we can measure the Earth horizontally.
They measure how it should look when it's made flat, but they don't measure it flat unless it actually is flat.
Horizontally and vertically. We can do that. We can then add an R value and mess around with it and place.
Wait, what do you mean mess around with it? You mean use it in a mathematical equation? Mean that? You don't mess around with a fucking variable. You use that variable.
Somehow place this Earth on the surface of a sphere and manipulate.
What do you mean place this Earth on the surface of a sphere? That's what the Earth is, dumb fuck. The Earth is a sphere, Brian.
The bearings via manipulating manipulate the bearings with things like magnetic declination, and by manipulating time zones, you're manipulating the positions of places in relation to each other. Blah blah blah. You can do
blah blah blah. No, Brian. Time zones are political. Time zones are not natural. I mean, well, the solar noon of each place on Earth is natural, and time zones should follow that. But they don't always, Brian, because some greedy son of a bitch who wants power says, I want this time zone put way the fuck over here, because that's my land too. You're an idiot, Brian. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Do all that, but the point is you must measure the Earth. None of that can happen without the Earth starting off with and being measured as horizontally and vertically.
What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, Brian?
Flat. There is
no, you don't measure the Earth as flat, Brian. Nobody in history of ever has measured the Earth as flat. Ever. Nobody. I don't give a fuck what Nathan Oakley told you, but nobody has ever measured the Earth as flat. Earth measurements don't start flat. They don't.
No way for it to happen the other way around. You can't measure the Earth to be a globe and then take those measurements and place them on a map. What I'm actually...
Right, because you have to distort that map. That map has to be distorted, and those measurements that were measured on a spherical Earth will not work when stretched out on a flat surface.
Actually saying here, if you haven't caught on yet, is maps could not exist as they do and us use them as they do if the Earth was a globe.
No, maps are a projection of the globe, Brian. Flat maps wouldn't exist if the Earth wasn't a globe.
The reason being is this is Australia on the globe, right?
Right. Yep. See how the lines converge as you go south? See how they converge, Brian? See how this line gets shorter than this line, and this line, and this line. See how this line is shorter than this one? See that spacing?
This is Australia on a map.
Right. A distorted globe. See how the lines converge, Brian? See how this line is shorter than this line? See that, Brian? What does that tell you?
Now, regardless of the messing around with the longitude lines here and different things like that.
See, this isn't taken from the Gleason map. This is reality, Brian. See, this is looking at a globe, not flattened out, at night at perpendicular to the point right here. That's what this is, Brian. This is not a flat Earth. This is not a flat map, Brian.
Like that. The point being is this: on a map, right? If we forget all about the outside area here, just Australia itself, on a map from Perth to Darwin, Darwin to Sydney, and Sydney back to Perth, you can create a triangle. And with the lengths of those sides, right, you can be
Right? You can't do that on an image, Brian. You have to be at each point and measure this angle.
sure that the internal area there is actually there.
No, you don't measure the internal area, Brian. That's not how spherical trigonometry works. You're a dumb fuck, Brian. Stop trying to pretend that you're not.
If Australia was on a map, was on a globe, right, and the rest of the world was a globe,
Right? Like you just showed.
then you would not be able to place Australia on a map.
It just is, Brian. See, this is a globe. This is a globe. But you can place it on a like an AE map. Like where is it? Yeah. Like this. See that, Brian? See, Australia's been placed on a flat, has been flattened out. And see how long it looks? See how long it looks, Brian? And see how the lines are splayed out? Get wider the further south you go? See that, Brian? Does that match that? No, it doesn't, does it? You think Australia looks
And
looks like this? Or do you think Australia looks like this? Which do you think, Brian? Which do you think Australia looks like in real life? This or this?
then measure, right, using a triangle here, and have the internal area be correct for reality. Because the internal area, if you take that triangle here and place it here, the internal area will be a bit greater, and the angles, right, won't add up to 180 degrees. They'll be greater.
Yes, because you're measuring it on a globe, on a sphere, Brian. See, that's how spherical trigonometry works. That's how spherical excess works. You're dumb as dog shit.
Right? So if that was the case, there'd be no way to place that on a map
I mean, seriously.
Emotional, damn it!
without having the use of
Flatzoid thoughts on orphans.
That's your daily reminder.
a lot of extra mathematics just to determine where you're going and what you're doing and the distances. Because you'd have to be able to mathematically remove at all times spherical excess. So
No, you don't remove it, Brian. You don't remove it. You don't remove it. That's not how you get a flat map. What the fuck are you talking about?
you couldn't
God,
have a map
What a silly sausage.
like this and draw a big triangle on it like this with all those distances in straight lines and have the internal area be correct with reality. That would be impossible. But it wouldn't be impossible if the earth is flat. Then it would be absolutely possible, just like it is in reality.
I mean, like here, like this is the reality you're talking about, Brian. This globe.
The area that they need to remove only brings it back to reality, because they
So you think maps start out flat and then the globe's created from that? Is that what you think, Brian? Is that what you think? Then why doesn't this map work? Why doesn't this map work, Brian? if all globe maps are back engineered from this, why doesn't this work in reality, Brian? Why, when you fly from Sydney to South America, or from South Africa to Sydney, why don't you fly over China, motherfucker? Why do you take this route when you fly from South America to Sydney, from Johannesburg to Sydney on a one-way flight? Why do you go at a curve instead of flying straight? Why do you never fly over China and see Russia? You're a dumb motherfucker, Brian. You're a lying sack of shit. And this is damage control to keep your cult in line. That's what this is, Brian. So you'll make this video, and then Nathan Oakley or Quantum Eraser or whoever you're with now will show it on their channel and include that into their indoctrination policy. That's your game, Brian. No one's buying what you're selling, dude, except fucking idiots.
They can't have a map. They can mess around with reality.
Hey, Mike Gertie.
Mess with the time zones. Mess with come up with magnetic declination.
Right? Magnetic declination is real, Brian. That's proven. That's proven. And it changes.
To confuse everybody and everything, right?
No, it doesn't confuse anybody. No, except for stupid people. Magnetic declination doesn't confuse anybody but you dumb fucks.
They can do all those things, but what they can't do is they can't add extra area to Australia or anywhere else that doesn't exist. Right? They can't do that. They must remove all that extra nonsense area to actually place Australia on a map. They have to go back to reality.
Oh, I'm doing good, Mike.
So they can say what they want.
You?
About the position of Australia in relation to China and this place in relation to that place, and they can mess around, as I said, with time zones and magnetic declination for bearings and mess around with people and do all that nonsense they want to do. But
no, we just measure the Earth as spherical, Brian. We've known it's spherical for 2,500 years. Why haven't you dumb motherfuckers caught on yet?
What they can't do is add extra area that isn't there to the land masses.
I mean, why not, Brian? Why can't we do that? You've redefined branches of science that debunk you to call them pseudosciences. That's what you guys have done, so why can't you take away or add area? Why, Brian? You hypocritical shit stain?
They can't do that. They can mess around with the seas, add and take away area as they need it, but they can't do it with the land masses. So there's no way for Australia, for me to be able to draw this triangle on Australia, there'll be no way for me to do that without having to take into account that there's missing area in between it if we were actually on a globe.
Now, what the fuck are you talking about, Brian? What in the fuck are you talking about?
But nobody in history has ever had to do that.
We got to speed this asshole up.
With any map of topography, of actual, physical topography of land. Nobody has ever had to do that. Nobody has ever had to worry.
Right, because that's not what you do when you measure the Earth with spherical excess, you dumb fuck. No one's ever had to do it because you don't have to do that. You know, Jesus Christ, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? No one's had to take a shower in their Toyota driving down the highway going 3,000 miles an hour either. No one's ever done that, Brian.
Worry about the area that isn't there, because the area is always there. If I was to do the mathematics, and I was going to do them for this, but I didn't want to confuse matters too much, it doesn't matter. If I was to do the mathematics for this triangle, I guarantee you the exact amount of area that I come up with in the middle of that triangle will be there in reality. Because it doesn't matter if I do it in the big scale or the small scale, that exact amount of area is there. But if we lived on a globe and Australia was on a globe, then the amount of area that's within these three straight lines would not match reality. So, where is your map, Glow Believers?
Google Earth. Google Earth. It's right here, Brian. I'll show you. Here, check this out. There you go. There's our map. Matches reality perfectly. You know why, Brian? You know fucking why? So does this look anything like this? Does that look anything? Well, you can't see that, can you? Actually, put this here. No. We'll put this here. There we go. That's better. And we'll turn that. Oh, what the fuck is going on? What is... Oh, no, right there. There we go. That's better. I don't know what's going on. There we go. So that right there, does that look anything like that, Brian? You know, Australia? Which looks closer to reality, Brian? This one? Or this? Which do you think looks closer to reality, Brian? Can you answer that? Oh, I fucked all this up. There we go. There, that's better.
Where is your map? You've hijacked a flat Earth for hundreds of years, and you've gotten away with it now.
No, nobody's hijacked flat Earth, Brian. No one's hijacked flat Earth. Sorry, you're a fucking retard. Nobody has. It's always been a sphere, Brian. Always been a sphere.
300 years. You've been getting away with it. And we've been asked on our side, where is your map, flat Earthers, for years and years and years and years.
I mean, he sounds like a toddler yelling at his parents that Santa's real. He really does. It's like, Santa's real. You can't tell me he's not. You're lying. He's real. To his parents.
Ye are using it. Every single time you reference any landmass, you're using a flat Earth. You're using a map that's based off
No, we're not, Brian.
the Earth being flat, because it can't be based any other way, because the measurements for this were all horizontal and vertical. So when you're using a map, you're using all those horizontals, unless there's a topography map where we'll have some elevations on it. But other than that, you're addressing and dealing with Australia horizontally. So there's no way for truckers, and whether it be Australia.
What? West triggering Roger and D-Man. No, where was that? Put a link in.
America, Africa, China, Russia, any landmass you want to come up with. There's no way for trains and truckers and people driving to be using a map, whether it be digital or paper map like in the past, and there'll be missing area on the map. There'll be no way to do that. That is, like, there's no way for me to be able to make a triangle and have the area inside it match reality, unless reality is that Australia is flat. Because all the land masses are flat because the Earth is flat. There's no way for that to happen. It's impossible. So you can...
So just fucking denial. You make up a straw man of area and you're in denial because it doesn't match reality. That's sad, Brian.
Right? Measure the Earth horizontally and vertically. And then you can convert mathematically to spherical. You can mess around with time zones. You can mess around with magnetic declination. You can do all this nonsense. But when you need that map, you got to come back to reality for the land masses. Right? When you need that map, you have to come back to reality. And that means...
Yeah, you have to come back to reality, Brian. You have to do that when it comes down to land masses, right? So Australia looks like that in reality, Africa looks like that in reality. South America looks like that in reality. So let's look at something else here. Wow. Doesn't look like that in reality. See, that's not what it looks like in reality, Brian, and this is your flat Earth. So you're saying we took this thing that doesn't look like anything in reality, and then we wrapped it around a globe to where it matches reality, but the Earth is really flat. Is that what you're saying, Brian? Is that what you're saying? You fucking dumbass. Fucking half-a-tard.
Removing globe, right? This must be removed
Fucking human litter box.
to bring it back to this, which is reality. So you can go from flat mathematically to globe, right? Because the Earth is flat. The measurement
No, that's not how it works, Brian.
are all based off a flat plane. They're all flat Earth measurements, right? All measurements of the Earth are flat Earth measurements, all of them, right? You can do that, and you can measure the Earth, right, as what it is, which is a huge plane with topography, right, and mathematically convert the sphere. And then when you want to use those measurements, like on a map, you can mathematically, remove the excess, the spherical excess, or whatever you want to do to bring it back, right, to the actual measurements. But what you can't do is measure the Earth as a globe, and then mathematically put somewhere like Australia on a flat map. Right, because you can't do that.
Right, because it doesn't look right, Brian. It gets all stretched out if you put it on a flat map. That's what it does, Brian. You think this is put on a flat map? See how these lines are converging? Just like on the globe. See that? See, they all come together at one point in Antarctica, the continent of Antarctica.
And have the internal area here be equal. That can't happen. Because remember, these lines here, these straight lines here, they were all arc lengths. So if I put them here, they would be arc lengths. Right? They have to be the same length. So the distance between, let's just say, Darwin and Perth, right?
They have to be the same length? Do these lines look like they're the same length, Brian? No, they aren't. Or else it would be an equilateral triangle, which it's not.
The flight distance, the flight distance has to be equal, right? Mathematically, has to be that arc length can't be any more than what that straight line distance is in reality, right? The same from Perth to Sydney or from Sydney to Darwin. Those distances must be equal. They can't extend those distances, right? But they can increase the internal area, right? Because, well, not that they can, they have no choice.
He just doesn't understand a fucking thing. But he thinks he's smarter than everyone on the planet.
Because what they have to do is turn these from straight lines into arc lengths, right? Which increases the internal degrees and increases the internal area. But you have to keep those distances the same, right? So they can tell themselves they're flying great circle routes, which would be impossible. But they're not. They're flying straight lines. Because if they're flying and using maps, which they do, over terrain, which they do, right? Then, or driving or anything.
They use Google. Not Google. They use GPS, Brian, which is spherical. That's what they use.
There's no way for us to use.
You think they use a paper map when they fly a plane, you dumb fuck?
Maps as we do, and the Earth be a globe. It's just be impossible. We'd always have to have extra mathematics to go along with the map. But they don't. They never have that. Because we don't need it. Because the Earth is not a globe. This area in between these straight lines is the area that actually exists. The extra area, the spherical excess, is the mathematical area that's created by the fact that they are mathematically converting from actual measurements to a sphere. That's not measured. So you can go flat to sphere, but you can't go sphere back to flat, which is why maps, the existence of maps at all, absolutely proves that the Earth is flat and not a globe. And just so everyone is aware, 1 second now.
Hey, Rocinante Gold, how you doing?
Number 6 here, blowing up a balloon. You take a balloon, before you blow it up, get a marker, draw a little triangle on it. Then slightly blow it up. You will see, don't blow it up too much because you don't want to extend the lengths of the sides of the triangle.
Right. If you blow up if you draw a triangle on it and you blow it up, it will be a spherical triangle, Brian. If it's an equilateral triangle, it will be a spherical triangle. Actually, it doesn't even have to be an equilateral triangle. It could be a triangle of any shape, as long as it's drawn. Yeah, so it would be a spherical triangle when you blew the balloon up, Brian. See, area, surface area has nothing to do with spherical excess.
Just blow it up slightly, and you will see that internally, right, that area has to increase. Right now, if you keep blowing it up, obviously the side lengths are going to increase as well because it can't not. But if you blow it up just enough, you'll see that internal area has to expand. So it's increased. Its overall internal area has increased. Technically, it has increased. You're stretching everything, right? Creating area that wasn't there before you blew it up. Now, if you take that, how are you going to make that flat again? If in reality the Earth is a globe, how can you then place those land masses onto a map and just read the map without giving a second thought? You can't do that. You can only do what we do if the Earth is flat. That's it.
Jesus
Maps
fucking Christ.
cannot exist if the Earth's a globe. It's that simple.
Just
They
that
just wouldn't
simple.
exist. Be no way for them. Not with how we use them. You'd have to have a load of extra mathematics.
I mean, it's just that simple. It's that simple. The high school dropout said so. It's just simple.
To be using them at all. And I don't even know if it would be possible for that to happen, because you would have to be like in school, people have to be learning in high school how to read maps, but how to remove or to add in the area that's missing from the map.
No, you just don't, Brian. You don't. You don't. When you read a map, you don't worry about the fucking surface area, you dumb fuck. God damn it, you're dumb. Holy shit.
Yo, Alice Springs here
You
wouldn't be
are-
here. Alice
You are dumb as fuck, Brian.
Springs in the middle of this triangle here. That wouldn't be there. You'd have to add back in Alice Springs, because that would have been there if you run a globe. But once the globe went away and you put it onto a map, they'd lose that area. It'd be that ridiculous. But no, in reality, it is just there on the flat map, because maps only exist because the Earth is flat. So when they tell you, the ballers or opposition, they say, there's always discrepancies between a globe and a map. That's why there's no correct world maps, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not that. It's that because you keep on
All right, there are no accurate flat Earth maps. There's no accurate flat maps, Brian. They're all distorted. Every single fucking one of them.
adding in globe. That's the only reason there's no correct world maps. But the land masses are correct. They have to be. Which proves the Earth is flat. Without a doubt, no way out. Earth is not a globe, but flat. Because if it was a globe, maps, as we know, wouldn't exist. Anyway, that's the end of that. I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope
You mean projections of the globe wouldn't exist? You're absolutely right, Brian. If the Earth wasn't a globe, globe projections wouldn't exist. God damn, you're dumb as fuck. You are dumb as dog shit, Brian. And I hope you win top left.
everyone listening to this
God damn it.
understands just how devastating this is for our opposition. This, there's many factors to this. I haven't added in here, many facets that will become maybe more prevalent in the not so distant future. But at the moment, all anyone needs to know is that maps are flat because the Earth is flat. Because you can't have a globe map. End of story. Thank you.
So I think a lot of folks are asking whether the president's
Oops.
Well, how are you doing?
Didn't mean to click on that. So you're dumb as fuck, Brian. You're just dumb as fuck. You have no fucking concept of reality.
Hey, everybody.
So this is Dr. Blitz. And he's going to talk to this guy. I think this is the one.
Okay. Want to tell me why?
I've just been doing research on it for some years, and there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm open to your arguments or whatever, but it's just there's too many things that don't make sense, and it goes as far back as the.
Hold on a second.
So you asked me name 10, name 20, name 20, name 10.
No, this is the one. This is the one.
You're not 20 then, my guy. Let's talk to Chex Carrie.
So Joe, what up?
Carrie, how's it going?
It's going good, son.
Carrie, what
I'm a
shape do you
flat
think the Earth
Earth.
is?
I guess you said what?
What shape do you think the Earth is?
Flat.
Okay, and why so?
I mean, if it was round, wouldn't it rise, son?
Wouldn't it rise what? Wouldn't what?
I mean, if you would think about it, little bro. The video you showed, it looked flat. I mean, flat and round. Something can be flat and round. You get what I'm saying?
No,
Like
I have
something
no
can
idea
be
what you're
flat
saying.
and oval. The video you showed was an oval. It wasn't a round shape. It was an
It
oval.
definitely was curved. That was the contention.
Curved, yeah, but
So
around like
do we
a
agree
ball.
that the Earth is? Do we agree that the Earth is curved like a ball and not flat like a plate?
I mean, an oval
Yeah,
is flat. An oval can be flat and curved.
An oval isn't. Well, so an oval is two-dimensional. We're talking about a three-dimensional thing, right?
I mean, yeah, if we look at all the pictures put up by the Freemasons that control our education system, yeah, it's circular.
Okay, so you think that the Earth
Yeah, he's very patient. Something I could never be with these people.
is like a plate or like a basketball?
Like a plate.
Okay, why do you think so?
I mean, it's not a perfect round shape, but it's flat. I mean,
Why do you think so?
it's really nothing else. It's really nothing else to prove it. Like, think about all the information that we got. We didn't get no information since we were little. We're indoctrinated like by Freemasons. All of our information we get is from Freemason higher ups. The book that was created for our
Really? You think so?
educational system. Of course.
So do you think that
like,
before the Freemasons existed, or before even the United States existed, nobody thought that the Earth was a globe?
there's plenty of people. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people without the main resources that we use. If we go and say fuck, if we start from ground zero and be like, man, fuck it, we not finna take
Carrie?
this information
Carrie,
that
I asked you a really simple question.
you asked me a yes or no question. Do you want me to answer it?
It was just like a simple question. Like, before the United States existed, do you think that nobody thought it was a globe?
Yes, I think there was more. So you think that there was only
Okay.
one?
And I'm just clarifying, you don't think that anybody thought it was a globe before the United States existed?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying it could have been both. So you're banking on that only people thought it was round and nobody thought it was flat,
No,
or nobody thought
I'm
it was
not-
a triangle shape.
I'm not
that
baking on any of that. I'm just trying to understand why you're bringing up the Freemasons and the Rothschilds or whatever, because that has nothing to do with why we think the Earth is
in order
a
for
sphere.
in order for a scientist to be put at the top of the top, they either have to be a Freemason or they have to be tied in with the Zionists. None of our information that we get is
Can you
from a
give me an
regular
example
person.
of a Nobel Prize winner in the last 20 years in
I mean, that's very anti-Semitic.
physics who was a Freemason?
The person that went to the what's Neil Armstrong?
Can you give me an example? That doesn't address my question at all. Can you give me an example of a Nobel Prize winner in physics in the last 20 years who was a Freemason?
I can look up a few.
Okay, go find me one. Because I would say that Nobel Prize winners in, say, physics are people at the top of the top, right?
There we go.
By the way, I can't hear you when you're off the app. So if you're talking right now, I can't help you I can't help you at all.
All right, but I'm at
Still can't hear you. Okay, I can hear. Oh, still can't hear you.
Oh, my fault. I'm about to look it up and then come back.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Take your time.
Now the reason the number 33 scares them is because that's supposedly the highest rank in the Masonic church or whatever. And then 666 is just what they think is a bad number.
Also, like, Zionism didn't really exist prior to, say, the mid to late 1800s. So, like, I don't know why you would then think that, like, there are, I don't know, people who thought the Earth was a globe who were, like, top scientists who thought that the Earth was, you know, a globe, but they weren't Zionists, and you can prove that they weren't Freemasons. Yeah, he's probably asking ChatGPT, let's be real.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Hold on, bro. I gotta. I can't.
Can't hear you.
You said last 50 or 20?
20.
That shit literally stopped. It says none.
Yeah. Turns out none of them are. Because most people aren't Freemasons, especially scientists. So do you want to retract your claim?
No, I don't want to retract my claim.
Okay.
No, I don't. I just he's just gonna stick with it. Jesus, what a dumb fuck.
Everybody.
So you were wrong, but you don't want to retract your claim?
No, bro. Everybody knows. Well, not everybody knows, but everybody knows there's a multiple fraction of Freemasons, bro.
A multiple fraction of... I don't even know what that sentence means, let
I mean, multiple factions.
alone what you intended
It's multiple.
by it.
The Freemasons are all split up. It's not
Okay,
like
so
there are.
So you made the claim that if you want to be a top scientist, you have to be a Freemason or a Zionist, right? Which is like a crazy claim to begin with.
No, I say you
And
have
then
to be
I
a
asked you-
Freemason that bows down to the Zionists.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay. So
Any organization.
if that's the case, then you should have been able to find a single example of a Nobel Prize winner in the last 20 years who is a Freemason, but you found none.
Jewish space lasers.
They don't exist. The Nobel Prize winners in the last 20 years, none of them have been Freemasons. So it seems like your conspiracy is just false. It's just not true.
Okay, who is Narj? What does Narj Muhammad do?
I have no idea who that person is. I imagine you're probably not pronouncing it correctly either.
And with a name like Narj Muhammad, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be a fucking Mason or a Zionist.
Nah, wait. So, can you name me 5? Yeah, like, can you name me 5 Nobel Peace Prizes, like winners?
Narj Garfunkel.
I don't really pay attention to the Nobel Peace Prize. I pay attention to the physics prize. So Elena Aspect, I forget his first name. His last name is Clauser. Roger Penrose, Kip Thorne. That's 4, and that's like on the last 10 years. Then I know their names off the top of my
Earth
head.
is life. Said, bro, just stop. This shit crazy.
So why would you say that in order to be a top scientist, you have to be a Freemason if none of the top scientists have been Freemasons?
Because he's been indoctrinated to say that. That's part of the Flat Earth script. They can't stray from the script.
Bro, this is
Bruh, hey, bruh.
what I'm saying. Every information we get from beginning since education started, since Rothschild started the education system
You know that
to build
there
workers.
are not...
Rothschilds didn't start the education system, you dumb fuck.
There are people who are not American, right? Roger Penrose is a non-American.
Bro, that don't matter, bro.
Roger
That
Penrose
don't matter
is a
in the
British.
Zionist.
Roger Penrose is a British physicist and mathematician who won a Nobel Prize like 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Who's not a Freemason. He didn't get educated in the United States, so the Rothschilds, the whatever, had no influence on his education system.
Okay, so
You want
before,
to try again?
so wait, you say I'm just confused on how you say that.
Yes, you are confused. You are very, very, very fucking confused.
Nobody believe
Man, Flat Earth did a fucking number on this cat, didn't they?
so that only one person, the majority of the world, believe that the world is round. But before scientific theory came into history, everybody believed that the world was flat because
No.
everybody was really.
No, it
Yes,
didn't.
majority
No.
of the world. Think about, bro.
No, measuring the Earth as spherical was the birth of science, dipshit.
America
think
is
science
built
started?
on religions.
When do you think science started?
Oh, science been started. It's in the Bible, documented.
Science? Okay, so
It's in the Bible, documented.
but you said that ever since scientists have been around, people have thought the Earth is a globe. So you think that people
Science
have thought the Earth
theory.
Okay, so
Science theory
when do you think science theory started?
What the fuck is science theory? That's what I want to know.
Shit, it didn't start. It started way after. It started way after the
Okay,
Bible was
when?
proven fact.
When
Proven fact.
when did science theory start?
Proven fact.
I mean, you know more about science theory. How about I ask you?
So
when did
why would
science
you
theory
why
start?
did you say, well, because it's a nonsense statement. You were the one who said it, that nobody thought that the Earth was a globe before science theory started. So like, when did science theory start?
It started way after the Bible was confirmed fact.
When? Give me a year. It doesn't even have to be an exact year. Give me a rough year. A decade even. maybe even a century.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Okay. He's going to ask ChatGPT again. Absolutely. Of course he will.
So I don't use ChatGPT. I'm on Google.
Okay, that's fine. You're going to use the Google AI, which, by the way, using an AI as a search engine is not terribly a bad thing as long as it provides its sources.
Yep.
Artificial intelligence.
I can't hear you when you're off the app, by the way. So I'm going to have to define a decade and a century for him. That might be right.
Science theory was created in 1617. 17th century. So you telling me before that?
Hold on, I just got to know. What was it that you typed into Google?
When was the term science theory? When was the term scientific theory created?
Oh, scientific theory, not science theory. That's different, man. That's different.
Oh, but that's not what you said. You said science theory.
That's the same thing. Scientific.
Yeah, see, a full-time job is a lot different than a full-time blowjob. You know, you add a word in there, and it changes the entire fucking meaning.
Okay,
Science theory, scientific theory.
Right. I just.
You know, it's the difference between like electric plug and electric butt plug. See, that'd be a lot different, right?
Typed in exactly what you said, what you told me to type in. Right. I imagine you can probably see this, right? When was the term scientific theory created? It says 1833 for me.
1617.
Yeah, words matter.
So why did I get a different answer from what you?
It's like the sentence, I apologize and I'm sorry mean the same thing except at a funeral.
You got.
I mean, it's going back farther.
I typed it in directly. I typed in directly what you wrote. I got a different answer.
I'm saying though, this doesn't prove nothing. It's literally.
It doesn't prove nothing. So you destroying my evidence that I presented, it doesn't mean nothing.
Farther than
God, what a fucking loser this kid is.
What mine says. So I don't see how this is in your favor.
If I was his mom, I'd be ashamed.
Well, it just seems like you actually don't have any idea what you're talking about. You don't have any clue about any of this, and you're kind of just like repeating nonsense words that you've heard in YouTube and TikTok videos.
Only thing you're doing is.
That's exactly right, Dr. Blitz. He's just repeating talking points that he learned on TikTok. That's it, man.
Ask me a question and telling me to look it up, and then when I look it up,
I'd love you to not have to look it up, but you have to look it up because you don't know the answer to any of the questions I've asked you.
So you asked me, name 10, name 20, name 20, name 10, 20 years of the last thing.
So, Kerry, I actually didn't ask you to name 20. What I did is I said, look, if it's true that all of these top scientists are Freemasons who bow down to the Zionists, if that's true, then you should be able to name a single one of them who is a Freemason. Because, you know, I imagine
you asked me in the last 20 years.
I asked you, can you name a single one in the last 20 years that has been a Freemason? Because I imagine that if you made the claim that this is true, then I would imagine that you would have looked into it before.
See, that 20 years works in your favor, dipshit. Works in your favor. Gives you a bigger swath of people to choose from.
So you probably would know the name of at least one of them, right?
So I put out
because you've never actually looked into the things you're saying. No, you can go ahead now.
So you're gonna tell me I'm gonna ask you something, right? I asked you a question about the first Freemason, not the first Freemason, but where our main scientific stuff come from. It does not come from the last 20 years. What does the last 20 years of?
Oh, our science stuff comes from the last 2,500 years, dipshit.
Nobel Peace Prize winners have to do with the previous.
We're not talking about Nobel Peace Prize winners.
You brought up Nobel.
Oh yeah, Yeah, he thinks the Nobel Prize is the same thing as the Nobel Peace Prize.
Peace Prize.
I
winners.
brought up the Nobel Prize in physics.
Yes, bro.
Do you think that that's
But
the
from
same
the
as the
last
Nobel
20
Peace
years-
Prize? Do you not know the
Look, think
difference?
Twin, I'm talking about the beginning of our education system. You're talking about the last 20 years. We don't even use books
Terry.
from. We don't even in our school system.
I'm
our
sure you
books
don't.
is damn
I'm
near
sure
40.
you don't. So,
In your school system, the books have teeth marks on them.
Harry, the reason why I brought that up is because you said in order to be a top scientist, you
Yeah, he keeps asking him. He keeps axing him.
have to be
Jesus
a
Christ.
Freemason who bows down to the Zionists. Those were your
So,
words. And,
okay, so-
and Nobel Prize winners in physics are top scientists. So
Last
if
20
your
years.
statement is true, yeah, they're all top scientists. And literally, the top scientists are the people who win Nobel Prizes.
You
So
are the
if your
only-
claim,
Can I talk?
If your claim, no, let me finish my sentence. If your claim is merely that all of the top scientists have to be Freemasons, well, I just showed you examples. In fact, you showed yourself examples.
You did not
that there
show
are-
me.
You showed yourself. None of the top scientists
Can
in
I
the
talk?
last 20 years have been Freemasons. Go ahead.
What new information in the last 20 years has come to debunk any previous science theory? What
I don't
new
understand.
information
What do
has
you mean
come?
debunk? Science doesn't really do the whole debunking thing of like old science.
I'm
It just
talking
improves
about.
on it.
I'm talking about the beginning of science, and you throw a number to the last 20
Okay,
years. Why
why
don't
not
you want to
look-
talk about the beginning of science? When I
Why-
talk
why
about
not-
the beginning,
Why
when I
not
talk
look,
about the, can I talk, bro?
Why not look in the first 10 Nobel Prizes in physics? Were any of them Freemasons?
Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
I talk.
Yes, please say some more stupid shit. It's hilarious.
And you throw a question in the middle of me talking. I didn't. Every time I cut you off, you say, "Let me finish my sentence." What I was saying, when I said something about the beginning of science, you say, "Fuck the beginning of science. Show me the last 20 years."
Well,
If
you
we
didn't
go
say
and
anything
look
about
up-
the beginning of science, by the way. You
I
said
said-
that all top
yeah.
scientists are
No,
Freemasons.
I didn't. I
You
said.
did.
I said that. I said
Yeah,
that
you
every
did.
everything
Do we need to
that we
replay
get.
it?
Yes, everything that we get from scientists.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll replay
Everything
it.
we get from scientists.
If I'm wrong, I'm
since
wrong,
the
but
beginning,
we'll see what you said.
or nobody thought it was a triangle shape.
I'm not
That it's not a perfect.
a top scientist. You have to be. So do you want to
So
retract your
there-
claim? Okay, hold on. The globe.
The person that went to the have
Any of that. I'm just trying.
nobody thought it was. Not saying that. No, I'm saying
Nobody thought the United States existed. Do you think that nobody thought it was a globe?
yes. I think there was more. So you think that there was only
Okay.
one?
And I'm just clarifying. You don't think that anybody thought it was a globe before the United States existed?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying it could have been both. So you're banking on that only people thought it was round and nobody thought it was flat,
No,
or nobody
I'm-
thought
I'm
it was
not-
a triangle shape.
I'm not. We might be a little bit
banking on
behind any of that. I'm just trying to understand
think
why you're
so.
bringing up Freemasons and the Rothschilds or whatever, because that has nothing to do with why we think the Earth is
In order
a
for
sphere.
you, in order in with the Zionists, none of it at the top of the top. They either order
Here
for
you
you,
go.
in order for a scientist to be put at the top of the top, they either have to be a Freemason or they have to be tied in with the Zionists. None of our information.
You hear that?
Yes, bro. Look,
order
finish
to
that.
be at the
Finish that.
top
Finish
of the
that.
top-
Finish. Wait. Finish it. Finish it.
Wait,
I said
so
none of our.
to be
finish
clear,
it. I said
you
no-
said that in order to be a scientist at the top of the top,
Works.
you have to either be a Freemason or be tied in with the Zionists.
Yeah, that's not it. There we go. It works. Screws on easy. Seals. And fucking works. Fucking excellent. And it's big knobby fucking knurl so you can get a grip on it. Yeah, it'll have an O-ring that goes inside to seal it better. And I think that'll work. It'll look a lot better. It'll be a lot better when done in resin. I know that. So anyway, anywho,
You said
Who
that,
is at
right?
the top of the top? Who is at the top of the top? I
Nobel
guarantee
Prize
you
winners.
hey, Debatable D.
of the last 20 years is the top of the people of the beginning.
That's not
Hey, Babatond.
what you
that-
said.
That's not what I didn't say.
You said in order to
what
be a
I-
scientist to the top of
That's not what I didn't say. What? What the fuck are you talking about, kid? Holy shit, man.
the top, you have to be either a Freemason or be be involved with the Zionists. Like those
So
are
who
your
is at the
words.
top of the top? What scientist
It's not what I didn't not say.
at the top of the top?
Roger Penrose, for example. One of the
New
most
or
brilliant
old?
physicists alive. He's alive. He's like in his
No, I'm
90s.
talking. That's not the top of the top. That's
He's,
not the top of
he's
the top.
literally regarded as one of the most important like physicists in cosmology, like of all time.
I'm talking about, bro. I said the top of the top. They're not at the
Bro,
top of the top. When
bro.
we go
Roger
to
Penrose
history,
absolutely is
Bro.
at the top of the top.
I don't even know who that
Bro.
is, bro. I'm
Yeah, that's
talking
because
about
you don't know anything about science, and I get that you don't. But like, if you don't know anything about science,
All
you
I
shouldn't
know-
make points about science.
So it's like we're on two different topics. I'm talking about old. I'm talking about the originators where we get our
Okay, here's a
original
question:
science
was
from.
Philip Leonard as a Freemason?
I don't know what that is. Did you just look him up?
He was the fourth. No, I just happen to know this offhand. He was the fourth Nobel Prize winner, if I remember correctly. I think he won it in 1904. Was he a Freemason?
Yeah.
Did you just say he was?
No, I might look it up. When did he know?
Okay.
When did he win it? The fourth?
He won the fourth Nobel Prize in physics. I think it was the fourth. It was one of the first 10, I think. Sorry, he won the Nobel Prize in 1905, so it was the fifth Nobel Prize. He definitely wasn't a Freemason because he was German, Hungarian German. He also wasn't a Zionist because he was a Nazi.
Bro, there are Freemasons in Germany. There are Freemasons everywhere.
Well, no, I mean, there's just no evidence that supports that he was a Freemason. And he also didn't bow down to the Zionists because he was a Nazi. So, like, you know, that's a good example of an early physicist who was not a Freemason and not in line with the Zionists.
Crickets.
Or what about Wilhelm Röntgen?
It says on Google. It basically says figuring out who the first is kind of tricky. You know what I'm
The
saying?
first
'Cause
what?
Nobody really cared about Freemasons back then, for real. To be honest,
Yeah, so there's no evidence that he was a Freemason. Also, Wilhelm Röntgen. Wilhelm
But I'm
Röntgen.
saying-
Do you know who Wilhelm Röntgen was?
I'm saying you're literally taking out
Wilhelm
names.
Röntgen. No, these are like the most important physicists. Wilhelm Röntgen won the very first Nobel Prize in physics, and he wasn't a Freemason. There's no evidence that
Twin,
supports that.
I'm just so confused on this Nobel. Like, why did you bring in Nobel
Because
Peace?
this is I'm not talking about the Nobel Peace Prize. Do you not know that there's a difference between the Nobel Prize in physics and the Nobel Peace Prize? These are like different things.
I actually don't care who win awards, bro.
The Nobel Prize in Physics is the highest award granted to physicists, which means that these are the people who are at the top of the field. And the person who wins the first Nobel Prize in Physics is going to be one of the most important physicists to have ever lived. Now, this guy, Wilhelm Röntgen, for example, he was like, there's no evidence that he was a Freemason whatsoever. He was the guy who discovered X-rays. Like, that's pretty important. So rather than just spewing nonsense that is like mildly anti-Semitic and conspiracy
It's not
brained.
Is it really anti-Semitic?
It's mildly anti-Semitic and conspiracy brained. Why not just actually engage with the evidence for the shape of the Earth being a sphere?
Twin, the evidence. Twin, you're taking names that are not Freemasons, but not at. You're
Can
not
you give me an
acknowledging
example
that.
of a single
Can I
Nobel Prize
finish,
winner who
bro?
was a Freemason?
Can I finish, bro? Can I finish?
Gonna finish, bro.
Go ahead.
Can I land? You're saying this. You're basically banking on, bro. This is not a Freemason. I can show you an example of this one not a Freemason, but I can also show you about 20 other people that's on the whatever Peace Prize or that are Freemasons.
Can you give me two examples of physicists who won the Nobel Prize in Physics that were Freemasons?
Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling. Was he a Nobel Prize winner? He was a journalist. He wasn't even a scientist. Rudyard Kipling?
He's an author.
What does that have to do with science?
It says they are one of the early Nobel Peace 1906.
He wasn't a scientist. He's a writer.
So why did he win the Nobel? Why did he win?
He won the Nobel Prize in literature, not the Nobel Prize in physics.
That's on me. I put no. I'm tripping.
My God.
Let me look up physics.
I can find one example of a Nobel Prize winner who was a Freemason, and that's Enrico Fermi. It's the only example I can find. Maybe there's more, but you're going to have to dig deep. There have been like 150 Nobel Prize winners in physics, if I remember correctly. And so, you know, find me like more than 2 and I'd be happy.
Yeah, but it say a couple. It say some of it's like they join lodges. It's like they join lodges. It
Okay,
say,
who? Can you find me more than like 1 or 2? Because I think I can find 2. So there's Enrico Fermi. And then Enrico Fermi was and then I guess Sir Edward Victor Appleton was also a Nobel Prize winner.
Isidore Isaac.
Isidore Rabi? Isidore Rabi.
Yeah, Rabi.
Okay, let's look up Isidore Rabi. Is he a Freemason? No, there's no evidence that he was a Freemason. He's just Jewish. Why would you bring up Isidore Rabi?
It said that he Freemason. Shit.
Where did it say this on like on like Freemason GPT or something?
Nah, I typed it in on Google.
Okay, I typed it in on Google too. Here you go. Isidore Rabi Freemason. While Isidore Rabi was a prominent Jewish physicist involved in science, policy, and ethics, sources don't widely link him to Freemasonry. His life focused on science, his Jewish faith, and public service, particularly in nuclear arms control and establishing research, with no strong indication of Masonic affiliation mentioned in major biographies or summaries of his work.
Hey, biggest August.
So, like, where did you get this idea? Was it just from, like, YouTube and TikTok? Because it seems like your whole notion of, like, science and Freemasonry being tied together is, like, nonsense and probably you should reconsider
all
it.
I'm saying, Twin, all I'm saying is every research that we piggyback off of since the beginning. Fuck Nobel Peace Prizes.
Okay,
like,
find me one piece of scientific evidence from like the last, or one scientific discovery from the last 150 years that's, say, more important than, I don't know, the discovery of the electron, or more important than relativity or quantum mechanics. Find me one that's more important than those that was done by a Freemason. Find me one. I can't hear you when you're off the app.
It's like they come in with no fucking information. They only have their indoctrination and the script they've learned by watching TikTok videos, and they think they could fucking go up against a goddamn PhD in physics. It's fucking hilarious.
By the way, the only thing that I can find for like famous physicists who were Freemasons, like there's Enrico Fermi and then probably Isaac Newton.
oh shit, you can literally go to the Freemason website, bro. I'm on the Freemason website. Hold on.
Okay. So we have Enrico Fermi, Albert Michelson, John Theophilus Desaguliers, who I've never heard of, Edward Victor Appleton, who I've never heard of, but he won a Nobel Prize, and then Isaac Newton. Like, those are the names that pop up. I recognize a few of those names, but they're not like the creators of all of modern day science, right? So like, what are you doing? Top 10, actually, yeah, top 10 Freemason scientists. Sir Edward Victor Appleton, okay. I've never heard of him. Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier, never heard of him. Richard Gatling, never heard of him. Christian F.S. Hahnemann, never heard of him. Vannevar Bush, never heard of him. Erasmus Darwin, never heard of him. Edward Jenner, never heard of him. James Watt, I've heard of James Watt. Benjamin Franklin, okay, cool. Alexander Fleming, wasn't he the guy who did penicillin? That's pretty cool. So there are 3 names on the list of top 10 scientists Freemasons. 3, and none of them include like Albert Einstein, Schrodinger, Heisenberg, Rutherford, Maxwell, Faraday. None of them include any of these, right? So Like, clearly, most of science has nothing to do with Freemasonry.
I'm saying, bro, majority. I'm just saying,
Hey, Cygnus.
majority.
Majority,
It's Freemasons.
you can't, you've mentioned one.
So you know more. Like, okay, this is why
I went
say
to
we
the
have two different-
Freemason
Yes, he does know more. He does know more than you.
website, and they only had like 3 people who were involved in physics, even mildly. Sorry, 2 people who were involved in physics, like two famous influential physicists.
I mean, this kid would lose a debate to a comatose patient.
You think that who's the most famous physicist to have ever lived?
Twin, I ain't go front. Twin, I don't know nothing about physicists.
Well,
I just know about
physics
education.
is the science of the shape of the Earth. So,
Twin,
well, it's
I
not
just
just
know
that,
about-
but that's how we get to the shape of the Earth. So, look, name the most famous scientist that you've ever heard of.
Twin, I ain't go front, bro.
Can
I
you
just
name a
know
single
about.
scientist?
No, bro, I'm not that deep.
You
in.
don't know
I'm-
a single
Dr. Pepper.
scientist? Then how are you making any claims about science?
Twin, you're talking about like specific people. I'm talking
So then
about
how can you make the claim? How can you make the claim that the root
can
of
I finish
science
my
is
sentence, bro?
no? How can you make the claim that the root of science is Freemasonry if you can't even name a single scientist? Bro, just give up. Like this is like just give up. Like this is embarrassing.
I guess, bro. Good strong arm,
Reconsider
bro.
your ideas.
I
Do
guess,
better.
bro.
God, what a dumb fuck. Oh my God. He really is stupid. There was another guy here. This guy. Where is he? We'll do this and then we'll call it a night or a day.
Nope, Preston's not coming up. Let's talk to Zibby.
Zibby.
Zibby, how's it going?
I'm good.
Glad to hear it, Zibby. Zibby, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, I don't think. I just know that it is flat. So, yeah.
Okay, look, so I don't. So I want to know what's true. Why don't you tell me what like the best evidence is for the Earth being flat?
See, he gave himself away right there when he said, I just know it. If you know something for sure, you say you know it. If you know something because that's what you suppose is real, you just know it. Well, I just know that I just know I'm going to get that job. No, you don't. You just know it. You think you will, but you're not sure. You just know it. You have a feeling. That's what just means.
I mean, the best evidence is
It fucking sounds like a pinhead.
just that your whole guys' theory does not actually work.
Well, wait a minute. So, Zibby,
Let me-
I just have to clarify. Evidence for the flat Earth is not the same as evidence against the globe Earth, right? So, like, you should be able to provide a positive case for the Earth being flat if you think the Earth is flat.
Can I ask you one question, though?
You can, as long as it's going to lead into the evidence that you're going to present.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I'm just asking this. I've always wondered this, and you guys never seem to answer me, always pivoting, always like insulting me instead of the argument. So I'm just wondering, like, let's say I'm in an helicopter and I fly up, and we're supposedly on a spinning ball at 1,000 kilometers an hour. How come if I hover for 30 minutes, I'm still in the same spot when I go down?
Because you're hovering, when you hover, you're stationary with respect to the air, and the air is moving roughly the same speed as the ground. Of course, wind makes it slightly different, but like you're stationary with respect to the air, and the air is roughly stationary with respect to the ground.
Wait, so if the air is moving with the Earth, how come when I run in any direction, I don't feel 9,000 winds coming against me?
Because you're not running at 9,000 miles an hour when you run. So if it's not windy out, of course, if it's windy, then you'll feel stronger wind. But if it's not windy out, That means that the air is moving with the Earth. And if the air is moving with the Earth, then if you run at 10 miles an hour, it will be like...
See, Dr. Blitz didn't catch what he was saying. What he was asking was, see, he's flat earthers are under the false assumption that the Earth is moving like 9,000 different directions all at once. So why don't you feel 9,000 different winds on you coming from 9,000 different directions? That's what he's asking.
Like the wind is blowing on you at 10 miles an hour. So now that I've answered your question, can you actually provide the evidence for the flat Earth? Because I answered your question. I didn't run. I didn't pivot. I answered your question exactly. Can you provide evidence for the shape or for the Earth being flat, please?
You didn't answer my question.
I did. I explained why you don't move relative to the ground when you're hovering. Well, look, you might not like the explanation, but I absolutely answered it.
So so the Earth is spinning at all directions at once?
The Earth is spinning from west to
in
east.
one direction. So why
is it east to west? I always get that backwards. I always have to visualize. So it's spinning so that the sun rises in the east, and so it spins that way. No, it's been from west to east. I'm sorry.
West to east. So if I'm running towards the west, what happened to the spin? What? What do
you mean? What happened to the spin? You're moving relative to the Earth.
You know?
Do you not understand that? Okay, look, maybe I can explain what's going on.
The wind is spinning against.
So Zibby,
then I would feel it. What?
Zibby, if you're on a train, Zibby, imagine that you're on a train going, say, 60 miles an hour or something like that, right? Now, the air inside the train is also moving 60 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're running inside the train, why don't you feel the 60 miles an hour wind?
Because I'm in the train and I'm moving with the train.
Right. What? But you're not. You're moving faster than the train. You're moving, or perhaps slower. You're running inside the train. If you run on the Earth, the air is moving with the Earth. So when you run on the Earth, you're not going to feel 60 miles. You're not going to feel 1,000 miles an hour of wind. You're going to feel however much wind you would feel by running at 10 miles an hour, because the air is moving with the Earth.
It's a closed system.
The air is moving with the Earth. That's why.
It's a closed system in the train, though. It's not the same.
And the Earth is keeping the air stuck to it gravitationally.
This is a false equivalence fallacy.
It's actually like almost perfect equivalence. The only distinction is that the Earth is non-inertial and the train generally is inertial. But the Earth is only minorly non-inertial, so we can treat it as inertial for all intents and purposes, at least for these examples. So like it's actually a really, really good analogy.
Can you define minorly?
Yeah, as in like the failure to be inertial is negligible. You can compute it. It's because the Earth is rotating, but the Earth's rotation is actually quite slow. So like the failure to be inertial will show up in things like the centrifugal force and the Coriolis effect. But these are both very, very small effects. They're sub 1% effects, depending on how fast you're moving and things like that.
It doesn't matter because it's a small percentage?
Well, yeah, it's like not noticeable by like humans when we're just like walking around, right? Like we can measure these things in like laboratories, but like if you're just walking around, you're not going to notice it.
So it doesn't matter. That's your answer.
No, that wasn't my answer. Is that what you got from my whole explanation?
You said that it's negligible because it's a
I said that it's negligible.
My pronunciation
what did I say? What did I say was negligible?
The effects. But I thought every number was relevant to the equation.
What did I say was negligible?
It's negligible. It's negligible.
Specifically.
The inertia of the Earth.
No, I said the fact that the Earth is No, I didn't. I will clarify. Maybe you misheard. I said that the fact that the Earth is non-inertial is negligible. And that was the only distinction between the train and the Earth example. It's the only distinction between the two examples. And if that distinction is negligible, then it's not relevant for the part of the conversation that we're having. So now, can you provide evidence? Can you provide the evidence that the Earth is flat, please?
Yeah, just by the fact that, NASA is derived from the word Nasha, which...
No, it wasn't. No. Nasha is a Jewish word, an English pronunciation of a Jewish word, and NASA is an acronym. An English acronym.
Is to deceive. That the fact that 99% of all space images are CGI, the fact that we lost the technology. You're
sorry. I stopped paying attention because you weren't answering my question. I was just asking for evidence that the Earth is flat. Saying that NASA means deceive. Saying that NASA means deceive is not evidence that the Earth is flat.
Because it's all a lie.
Okay, I want the evidence that the Earth is flat, please.
Because I'm literally proving it to you, and you're denying.
All you're saying is that this other thing is a lie. I'm asking for the evidence for the flat Earth. Not evidence against the globe. I'm asking for evidence. Basically, what I want you to do is I want you to prove that the Earth is flat without mentioning the globe once.
Okay, so if you don't want to answer my question, okay, I get it.
I asked you a question, you didn't answer it. So no, I'm not going to answer your question within a question. I asked you for evidence that the Earth is flat, not evidence that the Earth is not a globe.
I need globalists. Okay, I'll tell you this.
What's the evidence that the Earth is flat? Please. What about the ice? Okay, what about the ice hole? What about it?
Why I've seen it.
You've
First
seen
of all,
it personally?
Yeah, I've seen it
Where?
in Antarctica.
Which part of Antarctica?
In Antarctica, it's
Antarctica's a
right
big place. Which part of Antarctica did you see it?
the edge of it.
There's lots of edge. Which part?
I mean, you're not even going to believe me, so why are you asking me? This is
I'd
bad
love to
faith.
believe you. Which part did you see? Like, which part of Antarctica? What were your coordinates, for example?
You guys want to deny truth so bad.
Were you on the west side of Antarctica, the east side of Antarctica?
Your religion. Like, are you even open to change? I'm wondering, like, are you actually open to change?
If it's true, I'd love to believe it. I just want to actually see the evidence. But you're not actually going to provide any evidence. So, you know, can you give me some details about? Can you give me some details about this? About where you saw the ice wall?
Why do you care so much about the ice wall when I
You brought it up.
questioned you,
You brought it up.
so many times?
What do you mean? Why do I care so much about it? You brought it up.
Yeah, it exists.
So where did you see it?
I saw it in Antarctica. I just
Yeah.
told
What
you.
were your coordinates? Approximately. You don't have to. Like, where did you go from? Did you leave from South America? Did you leave from Australia, New Zealand? Did you fly? What did you do?
I flew.
Okay. Where did you fly from?
I mean, I didn't fly the plane. I'm not a pilot.
Yeah. What city did you leave from?
City I left from was
Oh, bro, you're lying.
what?
You don't even know? You don't even know where you left from?
Because I didn't fly the plane. Come on, man.
Yeah, you were in the city. Look, of course.
Yeah, so he didn't fly there because he didn't fly the plane, right? Remember that.
You didn't fly the plane, but you got in the plane somewhere.
Look,
Where did you? What airport did you? What city were you in when you went to the airport to get on the plane?
You're just gonna say I'm a troll. I'm a troll, but
Do you not know the answer? If you look, the fact that you're dodging, it makes me not believe you at all.
You're gonna say that I'm dodging. I asked you. Like,
Yeah, you are dodging. I asked you. I asked you. Where did you leave from? What airport? What city? What city did you fly from?
I told you it exists. It's not relevant to the discussion.
What city? It absolutely is. What city did you? What city did you board the plane on? Or did you board
See
the
how
plane in?
you're asking about the city I left from instead of
Yeah.
the ice wall?
Yeah, well, because look, if you can't answer that question, then it's like obvious you're lying because you just don't know what airports actually fly over Antarctica.
Globalism, your whole thing is a lie.
Okay, so why did you just lie to me? You know that lying's a sin, right?
Okay.
So why did you lie to me about saying Antarctica?
Who said I lied?
Well, I am because you couldn't even tell me what airport you left from.
Because you're just derailing the conversation. I've done this.
It's not a derail. I'm talking about the thing you brought up that you're clearly lying about.
No. Like,
Bro,
no,
you're
man,
caught.
come on, man.
You're caught. You're caught in 4K. You're caught in 60 FPS 4K footage.
What happened to NASA? Did you answer that question? I mean, I'm just returning the favor.
Look,
You were right
so,
back.
okay, so you admit that you lied? I'm glad we agree.
No, I didn't lie.
Oh, so then why did you return the favor? You returned the
Because
favor
I
about
didn't
NASA,
answer
but
the question.
NASA, you're saying NASA lies, so you're lying? Oh, okay.
No, when I asked you about NASA, you didn't answer.
I
No, I'm
asked
not
you
gonna
about
answer
evidence
because you
for the
didn't
flat
answer me,
Earth.
bro.
I asked you for evidence for the flat Earth. You said you saw the ice wall. I asked you, did you see it on a boat? Did you see it on a plane? You said on a plane, so I asked you what airport you left from, and you couldn't answer the damn question because you don't know what airports fly to Antarctica or fly over Antarctica because you made it up.
I'm not a pilot.
No, because you made it up. Like I can tell you what city I flew from. I can tell you what city I flew from anywhere to anywhere because I actually fly places. You've never flown over Antarctica. You just lied to my face blatantly, and it's embarrassing for you. And you should feel bad, and your mother should feel bad.
No. You've been caught now. You've been caught. I'm on just a story right now because I've done this a million times. So you're saying that when you flied when you were like 1 year old, you knew where you flew to? Is that it?
I didn't fly when I was one.
Travel?
You mean fly? Now you fly if you're in a plane?
You didn't, right?
No, I know I didn't fly when I was one. I didn't fly until I was like 5.
Yeah, and you remember that, right?
Yeah, I can tell you all of the cities that I've flown out of. There's a lot, but I can list them for you.
Well, that's great, man.
Yeah. So what? I'm sorry. Were you 3 years old when you flew over Antarctica?
I mean, I was young.
How old?
I'll tell you that. About 4 years old, I think.
You were 4 years old, so you remember seeing the ice wall, but you don't remember what city you flew out of. Do you even remember what country you flew out of?
I mean, is that so?
Yeah, it is. I don't believe so.
Surprising?
Hold on. Your whole belief that the Earth is flat stems from a memory from when you were 4 years old. That you're obviously lying about, by the way, about seeing the ice wall in Antarctica.
You're lying. You're just lying right now. My whole belief comes from that and the fact that your whole thing is a psyop. It's so obvious. I don't get how you guys don't see it.
This is so embarrassing for you. Okay, so Brooke just blatantly lied to me, and then wait a minute. So to be clear, just to be clear, do you think that a 4-year-old is? Do you think that a 4-year-old is capable of evaluating what they're seeing out the window of an airplane?
I mean,
why were you on a flight to Antarctica when you were 4?
My father has a passion for this. He taught me this.
He taught you this. So was he piloting a plane?
No, he wasn't. He was a passenger as well. He told me this before he passed.
Oh, so you've been indoctrinated. Got it.
You're telling me about indoctrination, bro.
Yeah, your dad indoctrinated you into flat Earth belief and tricked you into believing that you saw the ice wall when you probably just flew over Michigan in the winter.
Bro, you're actually hilarious.
Zibby, what country do you live in?
I live in Denmark.
Okay, have you ever been outside the country?
Yeah, multiple times.
Where have you been?
I've been to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Oh, okay. Turns out you can't fly from the US over Antarctica, nor can you fly from Denmark over Antarctica. So there's another lie.
What?
Yeah, there are no flights that will take you from the US to Antarctica.
Who said I went from the U.S. to Antarctica?
No, you said that those are the countries that you've been to.
Yeah, as in vacation.
Oh, so you've been to other countries. What other countries have you been to?
Countries.
What other countries have you been to?
It's not. Why? Can you answer my questions, or is it just you're gonna?
No, I'm currently interrogating you because you're lying, and it's so obvious that you're lying, and I want you to feel bad about it.
What? Can't you just? I mean.
And I want you to feel bad about it.
I would love to be good faith, but first you'd have to not lie to me. So if you admitted that you lied to me about that, I'd be happy to turn off the aggro. Okay?
I want to get to the truth, but
I'm sure you do. However, if you continue to lie to me, I'm not going to turn off the aggro. I'm sorry.
Look, man, I'm actually curious.
You're actually curious. Then why did you lie to me?
Yeah.
If you're a truth seeker, why would you lie? Truth seekers don't lie.
Yeah, truth seekers don't lie.
You're right. So then why would you lie to me if you're actually a truth seeker?
Yeah, why would I? Right?
Yeah, it's a great question, but you did lie. So that means you must not be a truth seeker.
Not.
You can't even tell me what. You can't even tell me what country you flew out of to get to Antarctica.
I can't tell you.
Okay, what was the country?
I didn't fly though. I didn't.
You said you flew.
No, I'm not a pilot. Though.
No, that's not what. Okay, look, I understand that Danish people don't speak English as a first language, but you guys do learn English from like second.
Yeah, he didn't fly when it's convenient, but when he flew, he flew.
Grade. So use that noggin and actually understand the words I'm saying. Nobody's assuming that you're flying yourself personally. What we're saying is, what country did you leave from to go over Antarctica?
To go.
That's what you said happened.
I flew. I didn't walk on there, man.
I never said you flew. I said to go over Antarctica.
What?
That's what you do. When you're on a plane and you're over something, you are going over that thing.
Now I'm printing the O-ring for the thing I just made.
I flew over.
Okay,
TPU.
what country did you leave from to fly over Antarctica?
You won't let this go, huh?
No, not until you admit that you lied.
On this question.
Not until you admit that you lied.
He won't do that.
You're actually an interesting person. Most of the people are not like you.
Yeah, most of the people care less about truth than I do.
Subject. Well, I'm not one of them.
Oh, you don't care much about truth. Yeah, I agree. Bye, Zibi.
Yep. So that happened. No, I didn't fly. I'm not a pilot, but I flew. What an idiot. So anyway, that's all we got for you. We're going to leave it there. Did anybody come in while hey, U.S. Senator? Sorry, I missed you. So, yeah, I've been on for over 2 hours. I think that's long enough for the day. We will talk to you guys later. I'll give an update on the part. Let you know how he likes it, what he thinks about it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So I mean, if you've got like a cheap air compressor and you want like a constant air supply, this is the part to use. Works. So talk to you later, guys.